Known since I believe you were the end of your teenage years. I cast him in the first season of American Horror Story. And I thought he was great, but it was really because he looked like Jessica Lange. And I thought, well, he'll be fine. He looks like Jessica. And then we showed up in that first scene, and it was like, wait, he can do that? And then we went forward and retooled the season for his talent. It's a very interesting thing, this show, because Evan and I had worked together on a horror story for many, many, many years, and then we took a break, and he went off to do Mayor of Easttown, for which he won the Emmy Award. And it's so incredible in that show. And he kept saying to me, I really want to play somebody normal. I want to do a rom-com.
Yeah, I mean, it really just, it started with that first video you wanted me to watch. You said, watch the Dateline interview with Stone Phillips. So I watched that, and I was really transfixed by how he spoke about what he did and how there was a confusion about why he even wanted to do what he did and how he felt it was wrong. And I think I was interested in researching the psychology behind that, and quickly dove in reading books about him, articles, all of the psychology reports, confessions, timelines, all those things, in an attempt to try to understand why he did what he did, and the struggle that he had with it. So I did that, and then the physicality of it, which I knew was going to be so hard. He has a lot of external things, from the way that he walks, and he doesn't move his arms when he walks and how he talks. And so I did a lot of research on watching him and seeing how he moved and working with weights on my arms, wearing a wardrobe, all sorts of things that I would carry with me throughout the day to try to stay in it so it would be second nature. And then I created a 45-minute audio composite, which I listened to every day to try to get his dialect and how he spoke, and really try to understand why he did what he did, or what his mindset was.
Right. Well, that's something that we talked a lot in the making of it, is we weren't so much interested in Jeffrey Dahmer, the person, but what made him the monster that he became. We talked a lot about that this show really was about, and we talked about it all the time, it's really about white privilege, it's about systemic racism, it's about homophobia. But it's interesting you talk about the character, because backstage, when you walk into these things, you're like, hey, old friend, and you and Niecy were talking, and she remarked to us that when you were filming, she didn't really know you. Niecy, can you talk about that?
Thank you, Evan. Hello. I was saying backstage, people often ask me, well, what is Evan Peters like? What was it like to work with him? And I told Evan backstage, I said, my answer is, I don't really know Evan. I didn't get to know Evan because Evan stayed in his process. So, being his, nosy neighbor, and a thorn in his flesh, we didn't really get to connect. I think maybe we said good morning twice, and that was because I forced it on you. I said good morning, Evan, and you just Jeffrey Dahmered me, and I said good morning, Evan, and then I realized